Dominic, Johnson, Williams, Lynn, Bowman, Baker, Lynch, Escaday, Thibodeau, Cox, Smith, Epperson. We have a quorum, Mr. President.
All right, Mr. Williams will lead the invocation, and Mr. Lynn, the pledge.
Father, in the name of Jesus, Lord, we pray right now that we have a positive meeting, Lord, and help the citizens of Caddo Parish. Especially prayer for our colleague, Ms. Bowman, God, as she goes through her illness. We pray that everything will be done decent and in order with decorum. Father, we pray for those that are less fortunate, God, and we don't forget about them. We lay them before you, Father. In the name of Jesus we pray. Amen.
Amen. Everyone please face the flag and say the Pledge of Allegiance along with me. I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Welcome everybody to our meeting today. Do we have any agenda additions? Don't see any. Citizens' comments. Citizens who wish to address the commission on any issue other than zoning, please fill out a comment card located in the chamber foyer and return to the president or the clerk of the commission. Individual comments are limited to 3 minutes. Citizens who wish to address the commission on matters relative to public hearings, that's items listed on the agenda only, will be limited to a cumulative total of 15 minutes each. That's for each side, for or against. Those who wish to speak or make presentation are asked to select their speakers and address the points they wish considered with this limitation in mind. I've got one card, and that speaker wants to speak on something that will be public hearing, so we'll wait till that time. Special resolutions?
Yes, sir, we have a special resolution, but Ms. Griffin was not able to attend today, so if we'd like to approve the resolution, we'll bring her back on another date and actually do the reading, if you'd like to do that.
Okay.
Yes, thank you.
You want to make the motion to approve the resolution?
So moved, Chair.
Second.
Well, motion by Mr. Williams, second by Ms. Baker. Cast your vote, please. That passes 9-0. Communique and committee reports. Administration, do you have anything today?
Just a reminder, tomorrow morning at 9 o'clock we have the Funding Agency breakfast tomorrow morning.
All right.
At the Petroleum Club, Engine Room C, 15th floor.
All right. It's people that we can. We have a District 3 Small Business Recognition. That's Mr. Williams.
Yes, sir. The owner of Mr. Carter's Burger is here. You come forward, sir. He's located in District 3. He's a California native. Get to the mic and your name and address for the record, and tell us a little bit about your company and why you chose Freeport.
My name is John McCuskey, and our business is located on North Market at what was 1340 and is now 161 Free State Boulevard. And our company name is LG Star Inc. We're the franchise group for Carl's Jr.'s. And the reason we picked Shreveport is that we thought it was a good city for us to come to, the people, the environment, and we look forward to continuing to develop here in the area.
I just want to say to you, I visit your business frequently. I'm not a big hamburger man, but I sure like them Carl Jr. burgers.
They are a good burger.
That turkey burger.
Yep, it's a charbroil burger. So
I would say you have surely been a good equal opportunity employer. When I see there, I see diversity at your facility. I see a lot of enthusiasm. People love to work in that environment. And I just can say on behalf of the president and officers and members of this body, appreciate you choosing Shreveport, Caddo Parish to your business. I hope if you do expand, that you stay here and locate in your business and provide meaningful jobs for people that are unemployed. And I just can't say enough. I couldn't sit idle by. I just want to say thank you. On behalf of the commission, I'd like to present you with this small token of appreciation for your choosing Shreveport.
You don't come around to us there.
Thank you and God bless you. Appreciate you so much.
All right, we have one more presentation. Mr. Williams?
Yes, sir. Mr. Gabriel Johnson, would you come forward, sir? Met Mr. Gabriel in, I guess, with Albertson or Progress. He was, oftentimes we find people that complain about how they grew up in their lifestyle. But Mr. Gabriel didn't let his income determine his outcome. He's what's considered by some language in America as a special needs individual. Now, I know that are law-abiding people that are at home and not doing anything, complaining all the time. But he didn't do that. We have people complain so much, and they don't do anything to improve, to better themselves, to improve the quality of life for themselves. But I admire you so much that I thought I wanted the commission to know some of the work that you've done and what you plan to do in the future. Just tell a little bit about your project that you're working on now.
Yes, my project.
Let's get your name and address for the record.
Sorry. I'm Gabriel Johnson. My home address.
Yes, yes, sir.
Okay, my home address is 6822 Oakleaf Circle, and my project that I'm working on is a series of books called Heroes of Dreams. So far, I got 5 in the series here. It's a series of children's books, a superhero series. And what it is, it's like the kids that you see on the cover of each book. Each one of them, one by one, ends up finding like their different superpower, and eventually they all come together as one team.
Is your book on Amazon.com? Tell them how they can get one.
This book it's available on Amazon.com, BarnesandNoble.com, and any other online book retailers.
Your wife is also, she's also has a college degree. Would you allow her to stay in your wife, Ms. Johnson? A degree in early child development from Southern University. This is what make America America. When people can, you have their American dream in our country. And he didn't sit there and complain. He didn't drop out of school. He didn't complain. He didn't point the finger, say it's a white problem, a black problem. But he stepped forward and did something about his dream. He always wanted to be a superhero, but he couldn't be one, so he wrote books. I am so impressed. I'm so happy for you. On behalf of this commission and this nation, this president, this vice president, the officer member of this body, I just want to thank you and keep up the good work, and maybe one day we'll see your books in a movie right in the Hollywood South.
Okay.
Amen.
Mike, you want to come up too? Keep up the good work, Mr. Gabriel. God bless you, man. Now forever hold your peace.
Okay. I would like to say I married an interesting man, and I believe that he could do anything he could put his mind to, not just by himself, but with his family, his friends, and God himself. Everybody around him, he could do anything. That's in his power. He can do anything through his heart. That's all I have to say. Thank you.
Thank you.
Gabriel, you better me. You got a wife, I don't. He wants. Got a question. Got a question.
Oh, I just wanted to congratulate you and tell you that I'm happy for your success, and I'm sure that you will be successful in your future endeavors as long as the government stays out of your way and leaves you alone.
Appreciate it. Ms. Lance, do you have
No, I have something for administration.
anyone else? Ms. Flynn?
Caddo Parish recently put together a program with LSU in reference to providing scholarships for people that want to study digital animation. And if you're not familiar with it, if you wanted to get with Dr. Morales at LSUS or take the classes yourself, they're certainly available. I believe there's an aptitude test that you have to take to get into the program, but Caddo Parish citizens have first dibs on this, and once they feel that no more Caddo Parish residents want to enter the program, then they're going to start looking elsewhere. But the rooms and the classrooms are always going to be open for you, and so I encourage you to call that number. Let me see if I'll give it to you later if you want. But anyway, but it's LSU, Dr. Morales, if you're interested in it, and it's other than the regular administration fees for LSU, the classes are all free.
Okay.
Thanks, and thank you for doing it. I'll look forward to seeing your books.
Thank you, sir.
Have a good day, boys. Thank you.
Okay, community affairs and committee reports. Ms. Lance?
Well, I had a question for the administration on the West Nile brochures.
Yes, ma'am.
How are we going to get these out in the community?
Okay.
Do we have a plan?
Yes.
Library, bar?
Mr. Lynch, we had a meeting a couple of days ago over at Homeland Security Office,
Okay.
and we appointed a little task force to work with voters of Parish, which is the city, collectively along with DHH to put the word out. And Mr. Harris and I did talk about doing PSAs as well, so perhaps he can expound on that for you if you like.
Yes, ma'am. What we decided to do was create a quick pamphlet to educate people. We put some at your stations in case some people come up and ask you directly, but we're going to be putting them in the hospitals, the post offices, everywhere we can go to try to get the information out to the public.
Okay. All right. You didn't have a picture of me, huh? I guess.
No, ma'am.
What about public service now?
We're going to do those as well, sir.
Mike said I was, but okay. Thank you. Very nice brochure, by the way. It's very nice.
Mr. Appleton?
Mr. Harris, I just wanted to remind you that Greenwood Town Hall, so many people pay their water bills. If you put some there, Greenwood Town Hall. Yes. Okay, and I'm down for communication. Let me get to that.
We're there.
Okay. Mr. Wilson, I got an email that there's supposed to be a conference call relative to the proposition that will be on the ballot this fall relative to ad valorem taxes, I think. Has that happened yet? I didn't check it before I left.
No, sir, from Mr. Dortes?
Right.
No, sir, I don't think it's happened yet.
Okay, Ms. Fraser, you familiar with it?
No, sir.
Okay. Well, if so, could we look at those, look at those two propositions and let's scrutinize them and make sure of the fiscal impact that it may mean to the taxing authorities? I may be interpreting it wrong, but I'm hoping that the intent isn't to usurp our power over our ad valorem taxes, whereas the state may utilize this some kind of way as some economic incentive for businesses. I don't know if I'm interpreting it right, but would you all look at that and we'll get together on it and give us an interpretation at the next work session?
Yes, sir.
Okay. And also, we are moving along very smooth with the Veterans Parade and Honor Ceremony on November 11th. We'll be meeting tomorrow at 11 o'clock here at the Chamber, and we'll be giving you an updated report after that. Everything's falling into place, relatively good. There's a lot of excitement and a lot of participation as it appears to be steadily gathering steam. We're getting increases for us. I got a call from Fort Jackson, South Carolina yesterday. So we're moving right along within that process.
Station it, Ken.
Right. Also, went to the Coordinating and Development Board meeting today at American Road Center. Good crowd. Had some good issues brought up. Focus today was tourism, and also was brought up relative to the opening of I-49, a segment in Joplin, Missouri. So we'll be hearing further about that from Mr. Max LeCompte. That's all I have. Thank you.
Hey, Mr. Glenn?
I want to thank Animal Services for putting this pamphlet together, and I want to tell everybody a quick story of a friend of mine's grandson, 27 years old, about 240 pounds, 6'5" tall, just got back from Afghanistan, was in his backyard, and Tuesday was confirmed by LSU to have West Nile virus. He is now home, and so it does not just necessarily seek out the weak and the sick or the old or the young. This man's 27 years old and in the peak health he has ever been in, never has been sick in his life, and has stage 2. And so it's an equal opportunity virus. And so everybody pay attention and stay protected. And also, I appreciate what Caddo Parish and Everett Harris and y'all are doing as far as working with Barksdale Air Force Base and Bossier, and hopefully we'll be able to spray and notify everybody that we're spraying so everybody can either get on their bicycles and ride around in it like we used to do as children, or hide in their house like I plan on doing. Thank you. That's all, President.
Mr. Cox?
After this meeting here, there'll be a Region 4 meeting. I would like to ask Mr. Ken to attend, Lindor, if you're available, and anybody else who might have some time, along with Mr. Lucky and Todd. Thank you.
All right. We have no president's report.
So we need to adopt the minutes of the regular meeting held on August the 9th.
Excuse me, I have Mr. Epperson.
I'm sorry, Mr. President, I had forgotten one item. I don't know how true it is, but I've heard a rumor. You all may recall the legislation that was being pondered at the previous legislative session this summer relative to divvying up some proceeds from the Margaritaville Casino. It was my understanding that legislation did not pass. After I think it was amended on the House floor, went to the sitting in committee, and then it got chopped up, and I think it died. But I'm hearing a rumor that there was some sort of way that it backdoored and made and it's now in the fruition. Is that possibility? That's just a rumor. And I was wondering if you could find out. I think there was House Bill 133. But I'd like to get together with Ms. Frazier and you would, and we'll find out if that's just rumor or fact. Okay, that's it. Yes, sir.
All right, before we go on, I got a late entry here for a visitor, and I'm going to go ahead and let him speak. Craig Lee.
You want to charge him $20 late fee?
Good afternoon, how y'all doing?
3 minutes.
Craig Lee, 1035 Easton Street, Shreveport, Louisiana. I want to do something real quick. I don't know how many nonprofits that actually get funding from the parish actually come back and give updated reports on the disbursement of funds. We know we have to do the physical report to Ms. Frazier, to Ms. Thomas' office, but I wanted to give you guys an update because there are some compliments that also need to go down. Just a few weeks ago, Mr. Escaday, Mr. Lynn, Mr. Williams, and Ms. Lynch were at the City Council meeting, and this is in reference to the sheet that you were just handed dealing with the disbursement of $424,000 from a fund that I've been a watchdog over for the past decade plus. And actually, Ms. Baker, in terms of the resources that our nonprofit received in terms of the C.C. Antoine project, we've actually helped to leverage $129,000, not only for the C.C. Antoine Park as a byproduct of those funds, but also $129,000 for the Oakland Cemetery. And Mr. Lynn and Commissioner Escaday lobbied for the Shreveport Common to receive $165,000 of this $424,000. That was a byproduct of the bond issue from the 1990s and a project that never happened for Ledbetter Heights. So that's the information that you actually have there. On September the 8th, the flyer that you actually have is the 176th birthday celebration for C.C. Antoine Park. Of course, our legislation would not have been able to be possible, our funding, if it had not been for Commissioner Cox and Commissioner Joyce Bowman, because they actually voted up. Everybody voted on it. And so we want to give you guys an update as to what we're actually doing. On the flyer, you're going to see some of the best talent locally. This is a free endeavor, bringing knowledge to the area about C.C. Antoine. But also, this is the first joint, and you all didn't know this, but this is actually the first project that represents the joint economic development coalition between the parish and the city. Because now this is the centerpiece of the City of Shreveport's Economic Development Initiative for Heritage Place, which is a redevelopment project that they're doing to stimulate housing in this area. This park now becomes the central component of revitalizing this whole area. And so out of the resources that we've had, of course, February was our big project, but this particular project here helps to stimulate it, and we're definitely thankful for this. So we want to give you guys that information, invite you guys to come out because we're going to recognize the Caddo Parish Commission and their work. And we also want to say that Caddo Parish Commission, Stephanie Lynch, her father will be performing on there as well. So we got all these local artists, and Michael Williams was also successful in terms of helping to leverage the funding for the improvements at the park as well. So just want to thank you guys for the assistance, and we will keep on not only doing work for our project, but also the coalition that's been formulated between the city and the parish.
Thank you. Mr. Dominic.
Oh, Everett, I was going to follow up something that Commissioner said, Commissioner Epperson. Could you be sure and put some of those flyers and brochures? I was just started looking at them a while ago, and the other town halls, Vivian, Ida, Oil City, Morningsport, we appreciate it up there also too.
I'll shoot y'all mosquitoes.
Thank you.
Doc, just to let you know, yeah, you're one of the very few that we do give money to. Out of maybe, say we give 40 away, we get less than 10% comes back and gives us an update. So I appreciate what you do. You have your heart into this project for as long as I've known you, and I commend you for the work that you've done. So, thanks a lot.
Ms. Lynch?
Thank you, Mr. President. I don't really want anybody to be misled that people don't come back and give us information. Part of our, I guess, job and responsibility as commissioners is that we are constantly out in the community where people do either invite us to these programs, or, you know, if kids are involved, have them send notes, or, you know, they tell you in person if you're at Walmart or wherever, people see you. We do have a process in place that twice a year that we get a report as to what these entities are doing. Now, if we want to make it part of the process that they're required to come down, you know, to one of our meetings, then, you know, perhaps we need to do that. But I certainly don't want to give anyone the impression that these entities are not reporting to us in some way what their activities are. Thank you.
All right.
Now we adopt the minutes of the regular meeting held on August the 9th.
So moved, Chair.
Moved by
Second.
Mr. Williams,
Second.
second by Ms. Lynch. Cast your vote, please. Passed 9-0.
Someone didn't vote. Why is it saying nine there?
That's right.
Everybody mentioned, but there's 3 voting.
Okay. Okay. Next, we'll move to public hearing on zoning ordinances. Zoning case appeal P-7-12 in regard to ordinance number 5221 of 2012, property located on the west side of the 7900 block of Shreve Park Road, 1,744 feet south of Tile Drive, Belcherry Land Company, applicants and appellants. Request to rezone property located on the west side of 7900 block of Shreve Park Road, 1,744 feet south of Tile Drive, lots 2 and 3, Shreve Hills Commercial Subdivision, Unit 3, from I-1 Light Industry to RMHP, Residence Mobile Home Park.
All right, we have anyone to speak in favor of this ordinance? We have 15 minutes to speak on both sides. Please give me your name and address.
Good afternoon. I'm Chuck Adkins, 7840 Shreve Park Drive, 71129. That was a lot to say, sir. But we had made a request actually, it's a rental facility, a manufactured housing rental facility. It's not a mobile home park per se. How do we work this? Does anybody know?
Todd, be right there. Todd will come down and do it for you.
Yeah. Let's put that time at 15 minutes so we can keep up with this side of the. Started over at 15.
Tony, you want to read that? Read that email.
Okay. This is our facility, but we presently have our office and our mini storage facility. To the south of that, we were proposing a manufactured housing rental project. And we were denied by the Metropolitan Planning Commission primarily for two reasons. We had no objections from any of the residents or any of the property owners south of us. Only objection we had was from the Chamber of Commerce. And their two arguments were that it didn't fit in with the industrial park. Well, it may not fit in with the industrial park, but it fits in with us. Everything, if you look to the north of that park, to the west of us is residential, to the north of us is residential. So converting that to residential would fit right in for us. Another argument they had was big trucks. I submit to you there's not many streets in the city of Shreveport that you can go on that you won't see big trucks. And you won't see in somewhere close facility a residential area. You could go to Uri Drive, you could go to North Market, 70th Street, Walkham Road, Pines Road. There'll always be big trucks. This facility is going to be unique in this area. It's going to be gated, fenced. We're going to own every piece of property in there, and we're going to take care of every piece of property. We do the grass cutting, the garbage pickup, the whole shebang. We're providing a safe environment for a family to live in. Everything will be 3 bedrooms, 2 baths. We've been sitting out there for several years, and that property has made no income for us, and it's made no revenue for the parish or the city. And we want to change both of those. We want to have some income, and then by us doing that, the parish will receive some income, and so will the city, because we'll be city water and sewer, etc. I have a letter from Ann Dixon, which is a known commercial realtor, and I gave you a copy of it. I don't know if you read it or not, about what we plan to do. And she is with Sterling Property, which is the largest commercial realtor in the state of Louisiana. But one little paragraph I'd like to read with you. It said, with the tightening of home mortgage financing, many families have been unable to purchase a home, thus being forced to multifamily properties. The limited number of single-family units available in Caddo Parish is many times substandard in high-crime areas, etc. And this offers a safe environment for people to move their families. This facility, if you're driving on our street, Shreveport Drive, you cannot see this facility from the north because our many warehouses would shield it. You can't see it from the west because there's about 1,000-foot buffer of trees, and you can't see it from the south because you have Ivan Smith and them down there. You can briefly see through the trees. You can see the industrial properties, and they can see us. They haven't harmed us. We haven't harmed them. And I think we can still live in harmony and accomplish everything that they want to do in their part of the park. My request is that you overturn the Metropolitan Planning Commission's ruling against us, approve this facility, and let's live happily ever after. Any questions?
You do? Questions right now.
Ask questions.
No, not really.
Yeah, we'll do it when it comes up. There's no questions from public hearing that come up at the time we vote on it, or right before we vote.
Thank you.
Any others wishing to speak in favor? I've got one card here to speak against. That's Dick Bremer.
Commissioners, I'm Dick Bremer, President of the Greater Shreveport Chamber of Commerce, 400 Edward Street. The Chamber of Commerce requests that you uphold the decision of the Metropolitan Planning Commission and not allow this rezoning request. The Shreve Park Industrial Campus is owned by the Shreveport Chamber, and that campus includes 500 acres of property that's adjacent to the property owned by Bell Cherry. Our property, the industrial park, has several significant covenants that require quality buildings to be built in the industrial park. We previously furnished packages to each of the commissioners with pictures of several of the companies that are currently located in the park, and many of these companies you are very familiar with. Our most recent addition to the park was Tire Rack. Tire Rack owns and operates 5 tire and wheel distribution centers throughout the United States, and we're proud to have one right here in Shreveport, Louisiana. In fact, it's their newest one and one of the largest ones. The Coca-Cola Company, you're very familiar with them. They have located in the park. Louisiana Tech is there with their facility. Ivan Smith Furniture is there. And then Frymaster, a local company for many years, now owned by a Wisconsin-based company called Manitowoc. All of these companies, as you've seen from the pictures, and I can show you some pictures if you need to see them, but all of the facilities are first-class facilities, and we want this park to continue to be an industrial campus because we believe that it will help us continue to attract existing companies as well as new companies to locate in the area and bring the jobs. Now, we still have about 300 acres yet to develop within the park, so there is an opportunity for further development. We have completed a marketing package. Most recently, we also sent out to all of the brokers in the Shreveport and Bossier area a document indicating we would be willing to pay a 6% commission, assuming they help us attract companies and these companies purchase land within that park. So we're trying to raise the visibility of the park, and the whole purpose of that park is the creation of jobs. We believe that a mobile home park adjacent to this would be detrimental. It would send the wrong signal. It's not compatible with what we're doing out there, and we do have safety concerns. The truck traffic is significant now, and we hope it's going to become even more significant as more companies locate out there and bring the jobs and facilities. So overall, right now, there are about 750 employees out there in the park employed by these various companies that I shared with you. And we are very competitive on the price of land. And the more jobs that a company might bring to our area, the more competitive we will get on the price of land. And I can almost guarantee you the price of land is not going to be a deal breaker for a company that's willing to bring jobs and build new facilities here in our area. So we respectfully request that this commission uphold the findings of the Metropolitan Planning Commission. And if there's any questions, I'm available, Mr. President, Dan.
Okay, we'll have questions.
Thank you very much.
Anyone else speak in favor of or against? This public hearing is closed.
Move to zoning case P8-12 in regard to ordinance number 5222 of 2012, property located at 4636 Highway 71 north on the east side of Highway 71, 9,466 feet north of Regmore Drive. Request to rezone property from B2 Neighborhood Business District to B2E Neighborhood Business Extended Use District, limited to sheet metal fabrication only.
Anyone want to speak in favor of 5222? Anyone to speak in favor? Anyone to speak against 5222? Hearing none, that public hearing is closed.
Zoning case P1012 in regard to ordinance number 5223 of 2012, property located at 2800 Stone Creek Drive at the end of Stone Creek Drive, 200 feet north of Osprey Drive. OKLC applicant request to rezone property from RA Residential Agriculture District to R1B Suburban One-Family Resident District to propose single-family residence or other uses with zoning classification.
Anyone wishing to speak in favor of ordinance 5223? Anyone to speak in favor? Anyone to speak against ordinance 5223? Against? Hearing no one, this public hearing is closed.
That'll conclude public hearing on zoning ordinances. Move to zoning ordinances for final passage. Ordinance number 5221 of 2012 in regard to zoning case P-7-12, property located on the west side of 7900 block of 3 Park Road.
Move to overturn the MPC.
Second. Okay, we've got a motion on this list to overturn the MPC, second by Mr. Jefferson. Is that correct? Do you want to listen to speak?
My motion.
Go ahead.
There have been a few occasions when the Parish Commission has voted to overturn decisions made at the MPC, as well as remand cases back to the MPC for further review. There is not a case that has been in District 7, where's Stephen? Come up here. That has been in District 7 where the residents of the surrounding area that were, I guess, not in agreement with something that was going on, that I have not been at an NPC meeting to support that. Is that correct, Mr. Jean?
To my knowledge, recently especially.
And so I want to let you know that that I talked with the residents in that area, and that there was no opposition to this proposed development. The Shreveport Chamber, I think, was aptly described in our intergovernmental meeting as a ribbon-cutting ceremonial entity that has largely, I guess, not really, and I want to talk to Dick. Thank you, Steve. Mr. Bremer? That has largely not been at the forefront of economic development in this region, and I just want to ask you a question about one of the statements that you made, that you felt that the mobile home park would send the wrong signal. What wrong signal would that be in particular?
Well, the industrial campus is geared to have very, if you will, first-class buildings and attract jobs.
But the mobile home
and that
park,
road to coming in there, to go past a mobile home park before you get into the industrial park, I don't think that's going to help us when we're trying to attract additional companies. That image is a very important criteria for companies. They want to project a very professional image in the quality of their buildings and the employees that they hire and so forth, and having to go past a mobile home park before you get to the industrial park, we think that would be detrimental.
and let me say, I've been to, just some people just make quite, I've been to a few places, okay? We're saying that we want to be the next great city of the South. Well, there are some other cities, okay, north, south, east, and west, where there are developments within, walking distance of all types of development. We talk about having a community where people can live, work, and play. Where people can walk to work, where they could ride a bicycle to work. So I'm just a little puzzled that you feel that an area where people can walk to work, jog to work, or whatever, that would be problematic. Like I said, if you go to any major city, any major progressive city, there are mixed-use development all around industrial areas. I think that if we start picking on people that rent, people that live in mobile home parks, we'd have to get rid of half of the people in Caddo Parish. And certainly we'd have a few less millionaires in this town if we got rid of renters and people that live in mobile home parks.
Yeah, we believe.
You know, I understand that you all want, if you don't want to be around people, then I think you're in the, I don't know where you go. We want people in Caddo Parish. We want businesses in Caddo Parish. And there are opportunities for them to be compatible, okay? And so that's why I'm asking my colleagues to not support MPC's decision and overturn their decision today. Thank you.
Mr. Jefferson, I believe you were the second on it.
Mr. Atkins, Shepherd. Atkins, how many acres did you all have out in that area up to this point? That was
the whole thing?
Yes, sir.
Close to 400 acres.
Okay. All right. Now I heard you say, you didn't say mobile homes. That's going to be prefab homes.
That's
right?
going to be, it's going to be a double wide concept with shingle roof and vinyl siding, and it's not going to be your, I don't even like to use the word trailer. It's not going to be the little metal trailer type. It's going to be a manufactured house. And if you've looked at any of them recently, if you go in and look at them, they're well constructed. It's not like they used to be. They're a good place to live.
Okay, now let's see. Within that 400 acres, you have some prefab homes and stuff over there now, right?
Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
They are basically buffered. Well, matter of fact, I've gone over there. I've driven through it. And,
yes, sir.
This used to be in my district prior to redistricting, so I'm very familiar with it. During any of the construction phases of new businesses that are located within the park that the chamber owns, were you all in objection to any of the developments over there?
No, sir. We was all for anything that they wanted to do there.
Okay. And I can't recall any of the citizens that, I think you even have places there where people buying homes and got lots and building on it.
Yes, sir.
And nothing has ever come up to me against any of the industrial sites that was over there. And that's certainly within the parameters,
yes, sir,
of the MPC in case zoning was up. So I've never received anything from the
we have a
residents.
subdivision on Buncombe Road that's an upscale subdivision, super nice homes, nice folks. We have a subdivision north of us with a little lesser priced houses, but real nice. We just fenced part of it. And then to the west of us, we have a well-kept manufactured housing subdivision. And those folks live on an acre ground, and they'd opt to pay $800 a month instead of $1,900 a month for a house or something. So, and I would add, those folks are all good income people. They're taxpayers.
Okay, did I understand you to state that you were going to tie in water and sewer at your expense?
Yes, sir, at our expense.
So therefore, if those areas could basically be annexed into the city?
Yes, sir.
Based upon that?
Yes, sir.
Okay, that's all I have.
Thank you, sir.
I'd just like to state that I'm going to be voting to overturn the decision of the MPC based upon what has transpired within that area previously that I'm very familiar with. Thank you.
Mr. Escobar?
You probably need to stay in the front row, sir. Can you come back up here? You probably need to stay in the front row so you won't wear yourself out.
Okay. I'll sit on the front row.
You can come right up here right now again if you don't mind. Okay, I saw the plans and all. You're going to put a fence around this area?
A fence around the
subdivision?
Yes.
Yes? What height? What type of fence and what height?
It's a privacy fence,
Privacy, okay.
privacy fence.
What height?
6 foot, maybe 8 foot, 8 foot maybe.
8 foot? Well, okay, we'll decide what the plan's called. But the whole thing is going to be enclosed and fenced in?
The rental facility will be fenced in with a gate. Gated community, everyone will have a code to get in.
Okay, so nobody from the industrial park would have access into the subdivision unless
No,
they
sir.
had the code. So, from what I understand, the only issue is really you're going to have to drive by your facility to get into the
And see
industrial
a
park.
fence.
Okay. That's all I have for you, Mr. Bremer, please. Have y'all offered or ever talked to them about buying their property?
We visited after the MPC meeting, just briefly, and said that if by chance you would like, we could incorporate your property that's zone light industrial as part of our marketing package when we market the 500 acres of the industrial park, if that would be a benefit to them.
You didn't offer to buy it, but you offered to help
No,
them
we don't have
develop.
we do not have the finances to buy that property.
Okay. Other than aesthetics, how does this harm the businesses in the park right now?
Well, I'm more focused on, I believe, attracting additional companies and projecting a very positive image. And I think that we've done a good job of doing that, and that's why we like the light industrial zoning that property currently has.
So it's just your feeling that this would make your job harder to develop the park?
Absolutely. Yeah, absolutely. There's no question. I can share with you that we were told by a couple of companies that we were fortunate to attract there, that had we not been able to get an additional entrance into the park, they wouldn't be there. And that's where we worked very hard with the Parish Commission, worked with the city officials to get an at-grade crossing, and that was very beneficial. That increased the value of that park. And so I think we've got a chance to do some good things. We came down, I can also share this with you now, we came down to 2 locations for a company that would build the engines that go on top of wind turbines. And that company, their consultants, actually recommended Shreveport and the industrial park for this facility. It would be the first North American facility for this company. It's a Chinese-owned company, by the way. And the competition was the Alliance Airport in Fort Worth. And they chose to go to the Alliance Airport in Fort Worth, even though their consultants recommended Shreveport. But they chose that because we were told it's pretty easy to fly from China directly into DFW, and that's why we lost out. But they were that's a company that was very interested in locating in an area that was upscale, professional looking, and so forth, and that kind of fit their needs.
And the park is that?
It is. It has very stringent covenants that the companies have to meet.
This property is outside the park, and they own several hundred acres adjacent to the park, do they not?
I'm sorry.
I said the subject property is outside of the industrial park.
Yes.
And they own several hundred additional acres, do they not?
Adjacent to the park.
Okay, well, let me ask you this. If they were building site-built homes built on site, would you have objection to that?
Probably not.
Okay, so it all has to do with manufactured housing. Well, then, just because they're your neighbor, why do you feel like they should be subject to your covenants and restrictions? That's basically what you're asking us to do, impose your covenants.
No. Well, what we're asking you to do is maintain the light industrial zoning that property has had, and not change that. We're not trying to impose our covenants on any of their land.
Okay, so the real objection is you think this will make your marketing efforts more difficult, but it's not really going to impact any existing businesses there. It's not going to impact their operations, is it?
I don't believe so.
Okay. Thank you, Mr. Bremer. I'm going to be supporting Commissioner Lynch's motion to overturn this and grant them the zoning. You know, there's 500 acres out there, 300 more undeveloped. You know, if I'm a business, I'm not that choosy about, you know, my neighbors as long as they're enclosed and they're not going to impact my operation. I just don't see this as, they got to work a little harder to market it, fine, but this is, we need population, we're losing population, we need housing, and I'll support Commissioner Lynch. Thank you.
Mr. Williams?
Thank you, Mr. Chairman. I too will be supporting Commissioner Lynch. I think Commissioner Escudé summed it up. I think they can coexist together. Even employees out there may not want to move to the city. They can move right there close to the job. I also would bring, I don't know who was there first, because I remember years ago when Prime Master first anchored there, it was years and years ago. I don't know who was there first. Was the mobile units there first, or was the industrial park there? Was you there first, sir, before they came?
The industrial park's been there about, I'm sorry. Industrial park's been there about 15 or 16 years. We've been there about 8 years.
In about 8 years. And you say how much acreage you own out there?
Sir?
How much acreage you own out there?
Close to 400.
400 acres.
Totally. That's what we had before. We sold a lot of it. We don't have that much now.
I think what you described to me, I think is an upgrade, and I too believe in the 21st century, those so-called unquote trailer parks, now modular homes, have had an upgrade, and to categorize them and put them in a group, mobile home in this day and time would be absolutely wrong. I think by having a gated fence and a beautification, a nice driveway, I think is an upgrade, and I think they can coexist together.
I think so also.
And maybe in the future when we get a uniform code in place, maybe we can address these type of issues that become before us. But at this time, we don't have that in place. And to say that businesses would not be anchored there, I don't think they go uproot and leave just because the units are out there. I think Coca-Cola and Prime Master are not going to leave because they see that. The last time I looked at that place, you have a very nice, clean, manicured facility. And I think this is going to add to what you coexisting together. I don't think we should be in the business of trying to decide what homes are better or good or connected to a facility. I don't think that's fair to the small businessman to finger point and say that business not coming because you over there. That's just not true. I don't buy that. These are some cases where we have to intervene and overturn when we see cases like this, and I will be supporting it. And hopefully they want to buy your property, take them up on it.
Thank you, Mr. Williams.
Mr. Cox?
What he said last time.
Years ago, Mr. Grimmer, myself, Bill Cherry, and a few others worked hard to get that other entrance open for the truck traffic. A lot of you know I'm in trucking, and I can tell you when that entrance opened, truckers used it. They don't like going out the other way. They still do. Ivan Smith uses it, Fire Master uses it, and so forth. But the truck traffic was cut in half when that other entrance was open. When we were in Dallas, Mr. Smith and I believe Woody went that time for a little sight-see when oil and gas or the oil industry was booming, and we were seeing gas wells being built next to City Hall, a block away from City Hall. We were seeing gas wells being put right beside a football field, between the football field and subdivision and the school. So to say that industrial parks will not survive if a development comes in is wrong, plain and simple. If it's done on the side of the Chamber of Commerce, if y'all want a company to come in, you're going to come to us just like you did with Coca-Cola, just like you did with the tire rack, and just like they do with everybody else that comes to either that facility or the port and ask us, will we be nice to them? And if we're nice to them, they're going to move here, plain and simple. That is an excellent facility as far as the industrial park, no doubt. I think it's one of the bread and butters of that part of Caddo Parish. You have to sell it better. because a development is coming in is not going to hinder somebody moving in that industrial park. I don't see it. If you need a sales rep, call me. I'll come work for you. And I'll sell it.
Me too.
But the problem with this is, you cannot say that development that's going to move in, that's going to be gated, and I called you the other day, you're going to have security and maintenance and all that good stuff. So if they're going to put all this in there, when people drive by, they're not even going to notice it unless they're trying to move into it. So I'm going to be supporting Commissioner Lynch and get this thing done and see what we can do. But I don't think the industrial park will be hindered in no means by this. Thank you.
Mr. Jefferson?
Well, just a point of information on the wind turbine company. Mr. Bremmer, were we informed about that company wanting to locate here?
Yes, sir.
Pardon?
Yes, sir. We're a part of this, sir.
Oh, we were?
Yes, sir.
Oh, okay. Well, I was just going to
Yes,
say,
sir,
in
we
case
were.
we have another one, we got plenty out there for General Motorville. Get them in there.
All right, Dallas.
We looked at several sites, and they selected that particular site.
Okay, let's cast your vote.
What's the motion? Is it?
The motion would be to overturn the
NPC decision.
Point of order, make sure.
what is your motion again, Ms. Finch?
Yes, to overturn MPC.
The overturn MPC. A yes vote would overturn it. No vote leaves it like it is. It's 9-0 in favor of overturning it.
Ordinance number 5222 of 2012 in regard to zoning case P8-12, property located at 4636 Highway 71. Request to rezone property from B2 Neighborhood Business District to B2E Neighborhood Business Extended Use.
So moved.
Second.
Moved by
That's your motion, Mr. Jones?
moved by
Okay?
Ms. Lynch, second by Mr. Dominic. Cast your vote, please. And that's 10-0 in favor.
Ordinance number 5223 of 2012 in regard to zoning case P10-12, property located at 2800 Stone Creek.
Second.
Moved by the chair, second by Mr. Dominic. Cast your vote, please. Passes 10-0.
Next, we move to public hearing on ordinances. Ordinance number 5224 of 2012, amending the budget vet estimate revenues and expenditures for the Riverboat Fund in the amount of $35,000 for juvenile court program titled
No movement,
Facts
Chair.
of Life.
Second.
This is public hearing.
Anyone to speak in favor of ordinance number 5224? Anyone to speak against ordinance 5224? Call this public hearing on 5224 closed.
Ordinance number 5225 of 2012, amending budget investment revenues and expenditures for the Riverboat Fund in the amount of $6,000 for the Aquatic and Wildlife Education Foundation Youth Life Jacket Giveaway Program.
Anyone to speak in favor of ordinance 5225?
Tom Pace on behalf of the Aquatic and Wildlife Education Foundation. I just want to thank the Commission for giving us the opportunity to present to you last session for this, and we hope to see a favorable outcome. Thank you.
All right, thank you. Anyone else in favor? Anyone to speak against? Ordinance, the public hearing on ordinance 5225 is closed.
Ordinance 5226 of 2012, to relocate the polling place for precinct 28 and precinct 67 from West Shreveport Elementary School, 226 Murphy Street, to Galilee Baptist Church, 1500 Pierre Avenue, Shreveport, Louisiana.
Anyone to speak in favor of ordinance 5226? Anyone wants to speak against ordinance 5226? Public hearing on ordinance 5226 is closed.
Ordinance number 5227 of 2012, declaring certain adjudicated properties to be surplus and authorize the parish administrator designee to sell to parish's tax interests.
Anyone to speak in favor of ordinance 5227? Anyone to speak against 5227? Public hearing for ordinance 6227 are closed.
That concludes public hearing on ordinances. We move to ordinances for final passage. Ordinance number 5224 of 2012, amending the budget of estimate revenues and expenditures for Riverboat Fund in the amount of $35,000 for a juvenile court program titled Facts of Life.
So move accept.
So moved.
Moved by Mr. Williams, second by Mr. Lynn. See no speakers. Cast your vote, please. Passes 9-1.
Ordinance number 5225 of 2012, amending the budget of estimate revenues and expenditures for the Riverboat Fund in the amount of $6,000 for the Aquatic and Wildlife Education Foundation Youth Life Jacket.
Move to approve.
Second.
Motion by Mr. Cox, second by Mr. Dominic. No speakers. Cast your vote. Passes 10-0.
Ordinance number 5226 of 2012, to relocate the polling place for Precinct 28 and Precinct 67 from West Shreveport Elementary to the Galilee Baptist Church.
So moved, Mr. Chairman.
Moved by Mr. Williams,
Second. Johnson.
second by Mr. Johnson. Mr. Williams.
Yes, Mr. Chairman, because of all the schools closing in most of the districts, one of the reasons why this came up to be moved because West Shreveport School is closed and Phil Galilee would be the most reasonable, suitable place for the voters to go vote. Just want to make sure we do a public awareness campaign in that area. We have a neighborhood association, get the message out to the voters in that area about the new polling places in that area. Thank you.
All right, I see no other speakers. Cast your vote, please. And that passes 10-0.
Ordinance number 5227 of 2012, declaring certain adjudicated properties to be surplus and authorize the parish administrator or designee to sell tax interest.
So move.
Second.
Moved by Ms. Lynch, second by Mr. Epperson.
Yes.
Anyone, no speakers? Cast your vote. Passes 10-0.
We move to ordinances for introduction by title. Ordinance number 5228 of 2012, amending the budget of estimate revenues and expenditures for the Economic Development Fund in the amount of $50,000 for the Metropolitan Planning Commission to establish a unified development code for the year 2012. Ordinance number 5229 of 2012, to deem property surplus and authorize the transfer of surplus property owned by the Parish of Caddo to Doug's Paint and Body Shop. Ordinance number 5230 of 2012, declaring certain adjudicated properties to be surplus and authorize the parish administrator designee to sell parish tax interest. Next, we move to work session minutes, to ratify the work session minutes for August 2012.
So moved, Mr. Chairman.
Moved by Mr. Williams. Second. Second, Mr. Lynn. Cast your vote, please. And that passes. Passes 10-0.
There are no resolutions. We move to new business, confirmation of approval for proposed amendments to the Caddo Parish Policy and Procedures Manual.
Moved by Mr. Cox, second by Mr. Williams.
Who's Escadade?
Escadade, Williams, whoever. Was it you or? It was me, and I'm not whoever. Mr. Everett.
I'd like to make a substitute motion. I'd like to recommend that we confirm the proposed amendments of the Caddo Parish Policy and Personnel Manuals with the exception of section 304, paragraph B, and section B, with deletion of section B. And section B is that employees' expenses paid related to travel and professional development opportunities will be taken in consideration for your tuition refund. If I can get a second. My reason for this is I had called and spoken with Ms. Bryant relative to my concerns of this nature. The tuition refund program, the way that I see it, and I think it's defined quite clearly, is where an employee chooses to take forward an opportunity of a benefit that the parish is offering relative to securing better academic standards and a viable institution that can lead to a college degree, which could in essence enhance his or her effectiveness as an employee in the future. My reason for wanting the travel and educational amounts not included in this process is because travel and education is basically something that we offer for employees with things that are relative to their jobs. However, this isn't basically tied to in the tuition refund expense the way that I see it. Based upon personal experience, and then we just spoke logically, if that employee maybe went to some training or educational seminars, whereas the training that person received in that job relating travel and expense for that educational process for their job may be fostered into a credit toward their college degree, I can see maybe counting that expense. So that being my reason, and hopefully the administration will look at establishing a travel line item in the budget with a fixed amount, and therefore that would, I'm sorry, not travel line item, a line item for the tuition refund program with a fixed amount. And I think that will quite clearly and explicitly have everything defined as to the amount of funds that's available and keep that particular item autonomous from the travel and educational policy of the commission. I hope I could get your support on that.
Okay, Mr. Johnson on the amendment.
On the substitute amendment, I want to ask a question to Erica. Erica, how many employees are we actually talking about that probably would fit into that kind of category of being in school and then traveling? Just an estimate.
Commissioner, right now we have about 10 in school. We have about 10 in school. It's just it was just an item to just to clarify the policy. We consider the budget in whatever we do when we're appropriating the funds for college or conferences. So
those 10 that's in school, do they actually go and do some traveling as well?
No, sir. The majority of the ones that are in school have they do the local travel, local training.
Okay, thank you.
Okay, I'm not in support of it simply because if the person is taking courses, that's one thing, and then I don't think they're being kept from travel to go to other educational opportunities if that is required to keep them certified or whatever is determined by their director or their boss. But I would prefer not to see them attending something that's not required for their job while they're also taking courses in school. That could get very expensive. This keeps no one from going and attending outside of college courses for certification or update in what they need to have to do their job. So I would ask that we not. Now, if we want to separate these as two separate budgets, I wouldn't have any problem with that. And maybe that's something we could talk about doing in the next budget year. But for right now, I would not want to see it changed. And Ms. Baker.
I have a question, Erica. The travel that's in the policy now, is that travel is related to them going to school, or is that a travel that's related to their job that they're serving in?
The budget we have for that is for all, for travel, it's called education, training, and travel. And that's the line item we have in the budget.
So this is related to them going to school?
All we're asking is that, Commissioner Thibodeau is right, anybody that needs to travel for their job or any conference that is deemed, they still can do that. That's not what the purpose of this is. The purpose is just saying that if you have a conference that someone wants to go to or wants to, and they're in school, the department head can elect to say you're that particular, because you're in school, we will offset. You you won't go to that conference this year. But if it's something that's required, if it's for a certification, it's for continuing your CPEs, your CUEs, or whatever that is, that's still allowed. That's not.
So this is conferences that the actual employee chooses to attend that's related to them going to school?
Well, it could be any conference. It's any conference that they may, state association, national associations, they may, conferences, seminars that an association may have, conferences that aren't necessarily required to do your daily duties, is what we're talking about, and aren't necessarily required to do the job that you've been hired to do.
And I think if anything, it needs to be defined that if it's a conference that's related to your education, or if you're in college, or if it's something that's related to you improving your education or in college, then I can understand you doing an adjustment on the tuition. But if it's something that's related to the job that they're presently holding, then that should be something separate. Now, that's the way I see it.
In essence, it still will be up to the director and administration to make the determination on any training, any education. So whether the language is in there or out of there, it would be basically up to the administration and director to determine what training needs, whether that be college, whether that be conferences, that the employee needs to attend.
I just think it needs to be defined that if it's something dealing with you going to school and you choose to go, then yes, there needs to be adjustment with the tuition reimbursement. But if it's something that's related to your job that you're actually holding, then that needs to be separate.
Okay.
Thank you.
Ms. Lynch?
I think the commission should vote on all administrative trips. I'm joking. It's the striped shirt, Mike. I'm sorry.
Thank you. Was that kinder and gentler?
Yes.
Okay.
Now, tell me again exactly what is it that you're trying to clarify. It seems a little heavy-hammered to me. So I need to try to figure out what it is that you're exactly. Is there some abuse going on of it?
No, sir. No, ma'am. Commissioner, it's just simply we consider the budget, we consider the department's needs into determining what conferences that an individual may need to go to, and department heads have, considering their budget, considering the needs of their department, have elected if someone, because you're talking about if you only have a $30,000 budget, and you're spending a third of it on one employee to both attend college and go on conferences, it's significant. So a department head may say, hey, because you're in school and we don't necessarily need this, you don't necessarily need to attend this conference this year, we'll pay your tuition, but you will forego the conference for this year. We've done that, and we're just putting it in the policy, stating it. You all can remove that language. We still would, on a department, on administration basis, analyze the needs of the department for training, for education, degrees sought, all of that on a budgetary basis. We have to do that.
So you're already doing it?
Yeah, we basically are doing it. We're just clarifying it in the policy to the employees, because there are those that like to see it in writing, but because of we are allowed to consider the needs of the departments and the budgetary constraints in determining what the training requirements for the employees need to be for that year. So in essence, if you all need to, I mean, that's something you all can decide. If you need to remove that language, we still would have to consider based on the needs of the department, based on the budget of what we can't allow everybody to go to everything.
I understand. We're doing it now. It's just when you start putting some things in writing, I think it can get a little heavy-handed and possibly unfair to the employee. And I would have some concerns about that, because some people have gone to school and gone to every conference they ever want to go to, and, sometimes once people get theirs, then they want to make it restrictive for other people. And so, I would just be concerned about it being a little too applied, too heavy-handed in a heavy-handed manner against, those employees. So, thank you.
Mr. Dominic?
A couple questions. The Policy and Procedures Committee voted on these changes. If I'm correct, Commissioner Cox, you're the chairman of that committee?
Yes.
This is what y'all recommended?
Yes.
And what I'm gathering, Erica, what you're saying is that if a department has a smaller budget in which someone is going to school and it means those monies are being spent a lot on that person, then it's going to be up to the department head, which it already is, whether we change it or not, for the department head to say, look, you don't need to go to this seminar up in New York because that's going to cost another couple $1,000s, and we're already spending several $1,000s to send you to school. We're going to wait till next year to when you graduate and send you next year. And it's kind of put it in writing. Is that correct?
Correct.
And I noticed the other day, I don't have the documents with me. I don't see it. I know we had it Monday when we were here, and this may be for Donna, but a lot of that stuff was taken out as far as email, electronic communication, things like that. We still have a policy on what you can and can't do as far as emailing, that you can't be putting, sexual-oriented stuff on your email. I guess it was just some of that stuff was deleting stuff to make it more specific to the point to where no employees are still prohibited. We still have a electronic communication.
Yes, sir. We were just adding items that, as technology progresses,
right,
and the items that we wanted to make it clear to the employees, the same things we prohibit now on your desktops in your office, we would also prohibit on devices that are outside of your office that are owned by the parish. But yes, we still have the policy in place that prohibits sexual contents, the websites, downloading, all of that type of
Okay, I just wanted to make sure.
Okay.
Thank you.
Mr. Escobar?
He spoke, I haven't spoken yet.
I haven't spoken.
He hasn't spoken.
Put you in
Not on this.
Calm down.
You better be glad he got any Red Bull today.
You sure better be glad I ain't no man, but on me like that.
I don't think it matters what we do on this thing. I mean, this is just, we've got half of us seem to, we're worried about the employees. I'm worried about the taxpayer, and then also on the other hand, I'm worried about the department heads. We're asking their job to be harder because it's not clarified. So they're going to make the decision anyway. They see their travel budget. They know who employees are. They've identified the ones that need continued training, the ones that are in school. They're going to make that decision. If the employee doesn't like it, he can appeal to the administrator because it's not written that, or put into writing that if you're in school, college, BIPSI, or whatever, then that will be considered. So you make it harder for the department head who has to defend it, and you give the employee a false hope that it can be overridden. If I'm Mr. Wilson, I'm supporting my department heads, and then, man, I wish you'd use the term attend classes or something. I don't like conferences. Conferences are bull. Most people don't learn anything from conferences. That's travel and taxpayers' expense. So what are we really talking about here? Whether they're paid vacation. But regardless of what we do, it's up to the department head. We're just playing semantics here, so let's vote. Let's get on with it. It doesn't matter. It's not going to change anything except make the department's head life a little more harder, and maybe Mr. Wilson have to make judgment on a few more appeals. Mr. Williams.
Thank you, Mr. Chairman. I've heard a lot of rhetoric up here, and what I feel is that what we should be concerned about, all our employees, department heads, and the taxpayers, and the people who work for us. We should want our employees to seek to be better than what they already are. However, we don't need to get into being a cherry picking. See, when you don't have a union, department heads sometimes have their favorites in their departments, and they decide who they want to go to school and who not they want to go to school. And does this apply to department heads too, as well as the employees? But to get into cherry picking and favoritism, ism is not fair. Because too often department heads have favorites in their departments, and whoever they don't like don't get a chance to better themselves because they like this person better. We don't have a union up here. It all depends on who like who, or who, kiss each other the best. That's what, I mean? whoever, you know what I mean, up to the department head, whomever. So I think it's unfair. If they don't apply to the department head, it shouldn't apply to the employee that works here as well. And here again, I don't want to get into favoritism, having a double standard, cherry picking. It's not the use, it's the abuse. And if I don't see them abusing it right now, it's just because you put in the policy, you're a department head, you can make the same decision you're not making with the policy. So why do you have to have it anyway? It's been working before. We haven't had no abuse. We don't have no problem with the budget. Why now? So if it ain't broke, don't fix it. We have some great employees up here. We have great department heads. We got one of the greatest administrators in America. But however, I just disagree because you shouldn't have the benefit to want to go to school and better yourself. I don't think you allow them to go to New York and spend $2,000 of the taxpayer money for something, from some vacation, some landing place. These people are here to learn, to make it better, to serve the public here. So I hope you don't, let's not get into cherry picking, favoritism, because that's not good for the morale here as well. So let's keep what we got. If it ain't broke, don't fix it. Thank you.
All right, let's cast your vote for Mr. Epperson's amendment. Yes, you approve it. No, you don't.
Everyone quite clear on the intent?
Let's we vote on Mr. Epperson, you substitute.
Yeah, clarify, please.
To,
Okay,
Can you have it restated?
yours is an amendment to the original motion. What it does.
Right, pass everything with the exception of having the cost of travel and conference expenses going against the tuition refund program.
oh, yes.
Yes, if you're in favor of it. No, if you're not.
Party last.
5-5, so it fails. All right, now we're voting on the original amendment, and that is the recommendation of the committee. Cast your vote, please. That passes 6-4. Yeah, I believe that's it. Hold on a second, please.
Can that pass with 64 or it had to be 7 votes?
No. 7.
Had to be 7.
It's not an ordinance. An ordinance takes 7 votes. This is not an ordinance.
I just want to point out one thing to all of you. I appreciate the thoughts and the input with the zoning case we had with reference to Bell Cherry. It just gave me pause to think that we need to remind ourselves how important our appointments to these boards are, and we need to take them seriously. I don't know who was leading the discussion on that or who led them by the ring of the nose, but that vote was clearly wrong. They were influenced by something, I'm sure, because the more I think about it, that vote was just mean. So it's important.
Talking about the MPC vote.
The MPC vote. It's important who we appoint. So I just ask y'all in the future, let's think about, we have our CEDO appointments coming up in the future, and those are going to be very important, because that was just, seems to me a mean vote. There was no documentation, no information, no data to back up that any harm was going to be done to that industrial park. Nothing whatsoever. And it passed all but one vote. And I'm just kind of wondering how that happened. Anyway, thank you.
Mr. Epperson.
I'd just like to say, too, how important it is that each commissioner makes sure that they are very familiar with their district. And that being my decision, because I've followed that area since being the commissioner there. And the biggest obstacle that we had was getting that railroad crossing fixed where we could have 2 ways in and out. And that solved a lot of problems. And I don't know how many of you passed 31, 32 and look over to the right. You can't even hardly see the industrial park, but you can see some of the establishments of the other place, and it looks doing good down there. That's all I have.
Move to adjourn?
We're adjourned.
Tom, I need to see you, Erica, and you, Rick.